in this weird phase right now of almost imposter syndrome. Like my first couple weeks being open, I had giveaways and model calls, and I had a lot of people scheduling with that. And a couple of them are going to be regulars. They've already rescheduled, so that made me feel good. But I'm just kind of in this phase of what if that was it? And what if that was my peak? And then that's it.
Success is a lie if you're failing inside. You can't grow a business you hate. Welcome to the Business Reality Check.
Welcome to the Business Reality Check podcast. I'm Jonna.
And I'm Lori, and together we founded Thrive Collective because we are deeply passionate about the solopreneur and the small business owner. And we're tired of seeing people try to build a business based on someone else's lifestyle or a proven formula that doesn't actually fit who they are.
We believe that your business should be a reflection of your journey and your values. We're here because we care about the person behind the professional, and we want to help you realign your work with the life that you actually want to lead. If you're feeling like you're stuck or like you're living in a business that was built for somebody else, you're not alone. This podcast is about having the honest, heart-centered conversations that you need to get back to what matters. We're going to look at what's truly holding you back and challenge the shoulds that keep you small. We do this with kindness and radical clarity because you deserve a business that works for you, not against you.
That's right. And if you'd like to see our faces and feel like you're right here in the room with us, head over to youtube.com/@bizrealitycheckpod to watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can check the podcast notes for all the links and resources from today's episode. And if you're ready for your own reality check, we've also included a link to apply to be a guest. We'd love to hear your story. All right, let's get started.
All right. So today we are sitting down with Mo, and her story is one that I think so many of you are going to connect with. Mo is a mom that recently moved here to a new state, and she made a bold decision. She was going to reclaim herself by betting on her own talent. She went back to school for 6 months, launched her own business from scratch, and opened Crush Theory Beauty, a brand new skincare studio built on the foundation that she's extremely passionate about. Her mission is to empower tired, burnt-out women by showing them the science of their own skin. She's all about using ingredients that work with you instead of against you. And when she gets to work with clients, she lights up. The impact she wants to make is real, and it really matters to her. But here's where Mo is right now. This is the part that takes courage to say out loud. She just opened, she's brand new, and she's averaging about 3 to 4 clients a week. We'll try to figuring out how to grow her clientele and fill her calendar. She's navigating that early stage uncertainty that so many of us business owners face, and she's doing everything. You're doing the laundry, disinfecting the rooms, staring at her phone, trying to find out what posts will get people to book. It's the mismatch of random hours phase, and it's hard. It's a difficult time in our business. But here's what we know. Mo moved across the country because she's talented, she's passionate, and she has something real to offer. Today, we're going to help her bridge the gap between what being great at what she does and being visible enough so the right people find her. We are so glad you're here, Mo.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we love your story. We loved hearing about how you moved your whole life and you spent 6 months away from your family at school just to build this dream. So first, I'd love to ask you, what do you feel like you need to walk away with today to prove to yourself that this risk was all worth it?
I think I'm just in this weird phase right now of almost imposter syndrome. Like my first couple weeks being open, I had giveaways and model calls, and I had a lot of people scheduling with that. And a couple of them are going to be regulars. They've already rescheduled, so that made me feel good. But I'm just kind of in this phase of what if that was it? And what if that was my peak? And then that's it. And it was so much pressure on my marriage, on my raising my kids. I lived with my in-laws while I was going to school, and it was just a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if, like I believe in what I do, and I believe each connection is meaningful. So even if I only helped one person, I don't think I could ever walk away and say it wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's justifiable for everything else. So I think just coming out of this feeling like I have a good course of like, okay, here's what I can do next, and here's these actual things that I can track and look at would be really helpful.
I love
Okay.
that. And like, we're gonna dive a little bit more into your story and your why, but I just want to tell you, like, everybody starts somewhere. We all start at the very beginning, and like the only way we can go is up, right? Because we're at the bottom. So we're just taking steps, and some people take a small incline this way or they go straight up. And so we're gonna kind of talk about your path today. So I love that. But the first thing we want to hear is I want to hear a little bit about your why. Why did you decide to take this leap of faith? What made you say yes to yourself?
So I struggled with postpartum depression with both of my babies. Thought I made it out the second time, and then I went and lived long distance from my husband. I went back to Colorado while I was going to school, and we ended up making that decision because I had horrible experiences at daycares as a kid. So we're like not really ready to bite the bullet on putting our own kids in daycare. So I was like, okay, I know I want to go to school. I know I want to find something that makes me feel like I can be creative and, have something that's trackable, I guess. And so aesthetics kind of fell in my lap just by process of elimination, and decided this way lets me go to school full time. So it's not going to take me 2+ years of part time to finish. And my kids can stay with grandma and grandpa during the day. And I just really wanted a field where I could help people through what was the hardest time of my life. And this seemed like such a good way of pampering, and not to mention all the science benefits. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk, sorry. But just how good for you facial massages and aromatherapy and all of the things that I do, plus the very basic feel good of somebody showed me how to make my skin look good, and now I feel good, and my brows look good, and my lashes look good. Like some are a little more direct than others, but I just really wanted to find a space where I could create that for other people. And I love when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm like, yeah, that's all you. Like all I did is show you the ingredients to use, but that's your face. Like this isn't makeup, this isn't fake, like that's just you. So that was kind of what led me to where I am.
I love that.
Yeah. I wanted you to expand just a little bit too. I think the science, we're definitely going to tap a little bit into that because that's something you mentioned to me before. But you said trackable. So something that was trackable, what does that mean?
So before I did this, I've kind of always had an entrepreneurial spirit. So this is my third kind of step into my own business. This is the most actual, like, brick and mortar and a lease and all of that. But I ran a baking business before I had kids, which was very successful, and I really loved doing it. But it was just like a cottage bakery out of my own house. And it was fun to do, and it was fun to be a part of those moments in other people's life. But I didn't feel like it was meaningful past a yummy dessert. And I really want to acknowledge, like, postpartum was so hard for me, and there's not a lot of resources. There's not a lot of acknowledgement. It's getting a little more acceptable to talk about it, but it's just something that people feel so ashamed of and alone in. And I wanted something that really reached out to people and made them know, like, I'm not just saying that, I'm actually here for you, and you can talk to me about it, and like come relax and have some snacks and turn the lights down. And like, this is your time to just feel like a person again, and not having to be in charge of something or responsible for something for a minute.
Yeah, that is so true. As a mother and, as a woman, we can lose our identity so easily, because we're filling the needs of someone else around us. And it's so easy to lose track of like us and like how important we are, and like to carve out the time just like mentally and physically and emotionally to give back to ourselves. So I love that you're, helping to create that space, and that's some of the intention behind of your why.
I love that. And it sounds like when you say trackable, you're more talking about discernible impact, something that you can see
more direct.
Okay. Understood.
I love that, like making a difference in everything. Yeah, I love that. So, okay, so you took the leap, you spent 6 months apart to get this, and like kind of tell us where you are now. We know that you mentioned, you're 3 to 4 clients a week. Obviously, we're still in the very beginning stages. Your grand opening was just last month, correct? Yes. So, I mean, really, we're still in month 1, of you operating. And how are you feeling? How are things going?
I think overall I feel pretty good. I have to remind myself when I start to spiral and feel stressed out that this is normal and like this is the growing pains phase. I still have semi-consistent bookings going forward, but it's not near as much as I would hope. But all of the connections that I have made with clients so far, every single one has just had like such good things to say, and it feels so genuine. Like I've had 3 of them message me and just say like, as soon as I walked in there, I was like, I want to be your friend. I was like, I want to be your friend too. Like it just feels so genuine, and I do feel like they're very meaningful. So I feel like the hardest thing for me, like you mentioned, is just this doing like mindless scrolling on my phone. I feel like I'm always like looking for posts of people who are like posting on Facebook of, hey, does anybody do this? Or who do you recommend? And then I see the same other people who do what I do. It's kind of a saturated market. So I've been walking that fine line of maintaining professionalism, but also sharing my why as to how I'm different and why I feel like I'm a good fit for you without sounding cringy or, so I just feel like it's kind of a weird space to be, and posting is getting a little bit easier the more authentic content I have with actual people in my room. I think that's made it a lot easier for me to put my voice behind what I'm posting versus just kind of generic, like, book with me.
Right. Kind of like the filler content versus more of that, like personal, like these are client photos. This is a video that we took together. These are my headshots or pictures, things like that. So
so I think that's helping bridge that gap, but it's definitely still just a weird, what am I doing here moment.
Yeah, I would say most of the people, and we've worked with hundreds of people in the last 10 or so years in this realm of like coaching, mentorship, something like that. And most of the women we work with say that anything around promotion feels icky. There's a different, everyone has a word, whatever your word is.
Icky is exactly what I feel. So I get it.
Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. There's filler content, but then there's also, I think you would have avoided promotional content anyway. And I don't think promotional content is filler. I do think there's a difference. Like Jonna and I have seen lots of filler, especially as AI has come about, and don't let her spiral because she really hates it. But there's also like you talking about what you do isn't promotional, and the way that we structure these episodes, you'll start to hear a pattern in what we talk about. We're going to talk about and identify your who, and then a couple of other things. But this is very much Mo's conversation. And so for people who are listening, I just invite you to, she's doing the heavy lifting, but look for yourself. Like, where's that gap that you're struggling with? Maybe it's the same thing. Because a lot of people think it's smarter to post trendy stuff, right? So like you're staying with the algorithms. Maybe that's what you're thinking in your head. Nothing wrong with that. But the irony here for Mo is like, she's got this science brain too. You've got this like really grounded information. And trust me, we've been looking on your socials. Haven't seen too much about that. So we do want to ask you a little bit more about that. But just in general, keep finding yourself in Mo's story and see where you can get some of your own aha moments. So, but I just want to like call out, this is not easy. So already, thank you. I've been doing tiny claps for Mo. You can't see if you're not watching. Tiny claps for Mo. Something we're going to really dive into when we talk about your who is like, Jonna is from the Oklahoma area. I'm not. And she's told me this a lot. It's very saturated with everything, beauty, everything. Like everyone, their mother.
Yeah, I feel like during COVID, everybody was just like, COVID hit and everyone's like, this is my time. I'm going to come out of this. And we came out with a lot of social media managers and a lot of beauty professionals. And which is great. I love the fact that people are like, you know what? Screw the system. We're going to do our own
like
thing.
I'm going to hop on it. Yeah.
But you do really have to define yourself. You have to be true to yourself, which is hard to do when you're constantly online, you're scrolling and you're seeing what everyone else is doing. So it's like staying true to who you are and your morals and your values and the things that you want people to feel when they come to you or see and things like that. Hey, it's Jonna here with today's sponsored ad. This episode is brought to you by 40 Day Publishing, the company that makes publishing accessible for everyday people with a story to tell. If you've ever thought, I should write a book someday, 40 Day Publishing is here to turn that someday into right now. Founded by authors for authors, they've helped over 140 independent authors publish more than 270 titles. And they do it without the gatekeepers, the confusion, or the crazy price tags that traditional publishing is known for. Their core belief is simple. You don't need years to write and publish your book. You need a proven process, the right support, and 40 days. Whether you write fiction, nonfiction, children's books, or memoirs, 40-day publishing has walked authors just like you through the entire journey. You ready to write that book? Head to 40dayworkshops.com to register for their next live free workshop. That's 40dayworkshops.com, because your story deserves to be told.
There's always going to be a piece of the pie in terms of your niche. You always want to be a part of an existing niche. But where I think we can discover something new for you today is in how you carve out a new piece, a new cut inside of an already existing piece of pie. So, you're in aesthetics. So when we get into the who, I want to talk more specifically about what we have thought about for you, how you can carve something more niche. And what's great is, like, Jonna happens to be in your area, so she's actually lived it and seen it. So you're getting that perspective. But is there anything else with the why that you want to go over before we move on to the who?
Nope. I feel good. I feel like I've got a good kind of like idea of your why, which is fabulous. Okay, so we're gonna pivot to the who. So, when you came to us, when you applied to be on this podcast, you kind of mentioned a little bit older of a generation, right? So you're thinking like burnt out moms, men 40 and up. But I know you've kind of been putting out model calls and things like that, but I want to think about who's been in your chair so far, who's been on your table, and thinking about those clients without being specific, like which ones have you walked away from being like, that was a great appointment? Like, I feel so fulfilled. They feel so fulfilled. Like, tell us a little bit about them.
Honestly, I had two that really stick out in my mind, and one was 21 and one was 26. So right around my age, maybe a little bit younger. And it just felt like such a genuine conversation. They actually, both of them were two of the messages who had reached out after. And they were like, I just had such a good time meeting you and talking to you. And like, I felt like such a genuine experience, and I felt so safe. And, and then they said, as far as the service itself, like, I had no ingrowns after this wax, and that's the first time I've never had that problem. And like, I love the goodies you sent home for the aftercare bundle and stuff like that. So they were really like, I left those appointments like, I'm so pumped about what I get to do every day, and I cannot like connect with more people and be their provider and be their go-to. And yeah.
I love that. And I think too, like, as Lori and I were talking, we were diving in, and I also, for all you listeners, I have actually had a facial with Mo myself, and so has my daughter. And so I have a little bit more insight because I've been to the establishment and I've seen the people that come into the shop. And so what I was sharing with Lori is that I feel like it's really not 40 and up. And I don't think that's who you should target. I don't think that's who your audience is. In my opinion, being here in Oklahoma for more than 10 years, I think there's a lot of places that are already pretty established that cater to that older clientele who are, you know what I mean, that've been here forever, that are well known.
That's
and I
who
think
they're going to go to.
Exactly. And it is hard, like it's hard to compete. We had this recently with a different client who is in a very specific industry. And I'm like, there is somebody already established, and you are not going to win out. You have to go after a different clientele. And I think too, like, that clientele, like the clientele that lights you up is also the clientele that is going to make you want to pour more into your business, right? Because you're going to walk away fulfilled and happy and like really connecting with people. And that always fuels us forward. So what we really think is like aiming for those younger moms, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe they're on the journey, maybe they don't have moms yet, but like, or they're not moms yet, but coming into that part. So like 20 to 40. Exactly. I feel like 20 to 40. And then also tapping into that daughter, right? Like that burnt out mom. So like my daughter is 11. She came in, she loved her experience. She was like, when can I have another one? I'm so excited. She like showed me every little thing in the bag that you gave me. Like, she's like, this is this. And she was like, and she told me all about the face wash. And she's like, and she says, we have to go get this toner, and we got to go get it. And so like, I try to get her to wash her face and encourage her, but she doesn't want to listen to me because I'm mom, right? That's just another core I'm giving her. So having like a cool, like slightly older girl who's got like tattoos and is like fun and funky and is like, girl, you should wash your face, it's like, it's going to be a lot more impactful. So leaning into that, because there's not much of a there's not a lot of people catering to that like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We looked around. Jonna made good points. And I think this is a very teachable lesson for everybody. Every amazing Mo on the freaking planet is like, look at who's around you, right? So look in your building. Jonna kind of noticed if you look around, you got different like tattoo artists and different people serving. There's something in common. Know what's in common, because if they're going to be your referral partners or those humans walking around the building, they're going to go to you. And a lot of people in aesthetics are in buildings. This is common. It's where I live, all over, you know, like there's like shared rooms and whatever like that. So look who you're already serving. It makes sense that you would lean to like millennial Gen Z moms or girlhood, you know, as you kind of put it. And again, Jonna just happens to know because she's been around the block a few times here, but no one is serving the teen, preteen kid niche specifically. So
like in their language, you know what I mean? Like most people would be like, if you message them, but like having language around that, like letting them know that there's a place, like I'll come and do like a preteen party, you know, like a birthday party package where you come and do facials and things like that. Because right now, pretty much the options are like Mary Kay, you know, so like it's
thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So like creating that safe, because I would love to be able to have someone like meet with my daughter on a regular basis and like teach her how to take care of her face, because we're getting to that point where if she doesn't do it, like, you know, she's gonna be embarrassed. And exactly. And so like I feel like that's not a thing. And I was someone who didn't grow up with a mom who taught me a lot about like facial care and skincare and things. So like I don't even have the knowledge. I try to teach myself so I can teach her, but like it's not, you know, it's just not there in me in the same way. Exactly. And like I've also sat in your building and seen the people who walk in, and I feel like a lot of them are between that 20 and 40 age and not necessarily the older demographic either.
Yeah, I agree. I think I kind of brought that with me because of where I went to school. That was a huge part of our clientele. And so I kind of just assumed that would be my clientele coming forward. And I actually commented on an older lady's post on Facebook. She asked, like, where should she go for a facial? And I commented my stuff and said, I'd be more than happy to help. Like, there's actually a lot of different ingredients that work best for your skin, and like put a little more information. And she commented back and said, why is it so hard for an old person to get a facial? And I was like, it shouldn't be. Like, I'm absolutely here for you. Like, you guys are, I didn't say this, but I was like, you guys are a huge demographic for anybody in the skincare industry. But so I was kind of curious about that comment, because I was surprised that that wasn't something that she had tons of options for here. But
I actually saw that post actually,
did you?
last week or so, and I was interested as well, because I do feel like even in marketing, because I'm in marketing, so I pay a lot of attention to radio ads, billboard ads, and I feel like so many of the facial ads are geared towards anti-aging or like wrinkle aging and things like
that's why I was so surprised by her comment. I was like, it shouldn't be hard for you to find anybody, because that's a big demographic for anybody who's offering these services. But I was like, no, like, you're more than welcome to book, and I'm happy to serve you, and here's why, and here's what I can do. And
I think that if you think about the bullseye, that's where you think, you know, the target audience, you see a bullseye a lot of times. Let them be in the rings, but they're
not the goal.
They're not the bullseye. Your bullseye, in our opinion, based on our research, would be your teen, preteen kid and mom.
Okay.
It's like millennial Gen Z mom generally. And everything you do. So this is where a lot of us get stuck. It's not just you. Like, this is normal. We tend to, like, you know, ready, fire, aim. That's the entrepreneurial thing. Nothing wrong with that. But now that you have some time to think, you reverse engineer everything you do. All your posts, everything comes from, who am I serving? So now your language will automatically shift. Even if it's not perfect, don't worry about getting it perfect. We can also talk to you about using AI the right way. Help get some tone and specifics and not sound like a weird robot thing, which I'm sure you've seen. And
yes, I've struggled with that a lot.
We got you. We can help you with that.
And step one is really, it's like knowing your who is step one, because like Lori said, like you're working backwards, right? So you know you're going after that mom who's younger, who's got that preteen kid, right? Because we're not marketing to preteen kids. That's not how it works. We're marketing to the mom. Exactly. Right. And so now you're like, you know who you're talking to. So the words that you use, the pain points that you point out, like the struggles and the way that you relate to them is going to be so much stronger, because they're going to be like, that's me. I really need this, so it's not so much like anti-aging. It's like, girl, you need a freaking break and you just need to come in here and you need to relax and like, let me take care of you. You know what I mean? Like appealing to their pain points and not trying to, like I always say, horoscopes, they're very generic, right? Because if you read a horoscope, like a generic one, you're going to find something that appeals to you, but it's not really that impactful, right? But if you go and you get a tarot reading, it becomes more specific to you, right? And you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So it's like using that specific language, which I love.
And I think too, like if Jonna is a mom who's not really sure what to say to get her kid to wash her face, the puberty thing, that could be another thing. Like, not only are you tired, but you cannot get your daughter to like freaking excited about.
I kind of like the line you said specifically of like, when I do it, it's just another chore. But when it comes to someone else, then it's like, okay, yeah, well, she said I should do this. So I'm gonna do this.
Exactly.
I have sisters the same age. So that's kind of helped me like identify with those moms as well. Like, I know not know because my daughter's 2, but I understand how tricky that age can be and how anything from mom can sound like a direct attack versus from anybody else. It's just information.
Yeah. Last night I'm like, you need to take a shower. And she's like, why? I didn't run in gym today. And I'm like, because you nasty girl, go get in the shower. Like, come on.
Yeah, I was asking her when I was washing her face. I was like, so how often do you wash your face? And she goes, well, usually just when I shower. So since it's summer, probably about every day now. And I was like, okay, that's great. Like, that's a great start. And we should be aiming for twice a day. But even if it's just once a day, that's a really good base. And she was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where like a cool brand moment can come of like the cool, unique title you can give yourself. Like, I'm not saying go with this, but when we actually riff, we can help you come up with like a real title. But like this sort of fairy godparent is just what's coming to my mind.
I like that.
There's some of that cool floating third party thing.
Yeah.
Everything you say is right and cool. So
like the cool aunt or like the
I like that. I like that a lot.
Like, this is where like if you reverse engineer everything, it's like, oh, that like it's already, I feel like the wheels are gonna spin. And if you listen back to this, you're like, oh, that was such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And PS, like we'll give you the whole transcript of this entire thing too.
Yeah, you'll get everything.
So you can see it all in writing.
I'm gonna be watching it.
You can watch it, listen to it, whatever you need to do. But that's a moment right there where the brand starts to actually happen. Not just, I mean, Crush Theory, super cool. I love it. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, we like the brand name a lot.
Keep
but then
going.
Yeah, like Lori says, taking it the next step, like having yourself a really cool title.
Yeah.
I feel like you already do a really good job of trying to make your clients feel special with like the little gifts and you know what I mean, acknowledging them and like putting the little Hair loved her stickers. She was like, she was like, did you give her information about me? Because it's like she knows me. She was like so happy with the stickers you put in. And and so like, but like imagine combining that with like knowing exactly who your who is and how much like powerful that could be. Like imagine having a little starter kit for like
my brain is like,
it's like it's got all those like, okay girl, this is all the stuff you're gonna love. And it's like, it's got a little chocolate in it. I used to love when I would get my birth control subscription and there was a little chocolate in it.
That's actually so cute.
It just made me feel so special. They changed companies and now there's no chocolate and I'm sad. But when I got the chocolate, I was like, oh my God, this is the best.
Yeah.
But like people just feel heard and they feel seen. And that's what we all want as people, right? We want to connect with someone. We want a human moment.
Yeah. I think especially in like the age of TikTok, like we see all of these moms who just spend 24/7 with their kids and they're never burnt out and they're never tired. And like, like beauty influencers who never have a pimple on their face or have any struggles in life. Like it's just so hard to feel seen. And that's like one of the biggest things I wanted as my takeaway, like from my space. I want you to feel it and feel like I'm a real human and I'm not judging you. And like, I've probably done something just as bad or worse or stupider or whatever that you're worried about or stressed about. And like, I just really want to be a real person and connect with people because I feel like that's lacking so much in a lot of brands and social media stuff that we see and interact with every single day.
It does. And people are starving for it. I mean, really, they're craving that.
I completely agree. And I feel like that's where we start getting into the what is like, okay, so if that's who you're serving, what are you serving them with? What is the product and or service? What's the deliverable? So I think when I talked to you, you were like, I don't love my website. Was that what you said?
Yeah, I I'm like okay with it, but I built it all from scratch. I just bought the domain name and then I did all the colors and everything on there I did by hand. I know the mobile version has issues. I just, every time I try to iron it out on the website side, it changes
Mhm.
something on the mobile, and I just have not gotten the two to be cohesive yet.
Yeah.
My booking website, I love how clean it is. It's not very personalized though, so I like back and forth on which method I prefer. And we paid for it for like 2 years. So my husband's like, we're using it, babe. We paid for it.
Yeah.
So,
I know you use Gloss Genius for booking. What's your website with?
Wix,
Okay,
Wix.
that's what I
Or no, I'm sorry, it's not Wix. I don't know why I just said that. It's a Hostinger.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The face is only because we don't love that one. It's not personal.
Oh, okay.
We've had bad experiences with like domain setting, kind of not agree with some of them. I don't even know if it was hosting or if I'm being, maybe it was Bluehost, but some are just more annoying.
Yeah, we actually we didn't fully understand how it all worked. So we paid for my domain through Pork Bun, I think they're called.
Okay.
And then we just linked it over to
Right.
Hostinger.
And you
And
paid for
then
Hostinger for 2 years, is that what you're saying? Or
I
just,
think so, yeah. Or like we paid for
you should look because a lot of times with domain hosting is just a .com.
Mhm.
You have to pay rent for that. Then you have to pay rent for where that lives. That would be Hostinger, Google Sites, etc. Many options. We are partners with Google, so we can get you a discount.
Okay.
If you're not prepaying for Hostinger in advance, Google Sites is almost so easy. It's like you might cry at how easy, like in the best way, because it's automatically optimized. And I know what you mean, because we've had trouble even with Squarespace sometimes.
I've heard bad,
a little bit
hit or miss.
Yeah, with the mobile, they change something and makes the mobile settings just a little harder to like optimize. Just from
I have Squarespace for my charcuterie cart, and it's every platform has issues, and some are better than others, and things like that.
But we were looking. Are you okay if I share my screen and show your website to the
please,
world?
absolutely.
Okay, Jonna, are we ready? We're gonna.
Yeah, I'm ready.
We're gonna tell you everything we. No, just kidding.
Okay.
This is really nice. So here's your gorgeous website.
See,
so
as soon as I see it, I hate it.
Well, I want to just say, if you're looking, I have a very wide screen computer. Jonna's experience was not the same with the way your menu is. It kind of makes it hard to see.
Yeah, you see like where the dark green is on Lori's screen, like my pink goes almost down to there, so I can only see like a little. And it's a responsiveness thing, it's a platform thing, and it changes based on your computer screen. It's not something you would have even known about unless someone told you.
Okay.
When we were thinking about your who, we looked at the options that you had. And so we're looking from millennial eyes. If no one knows, we are all millennials here. I believe Mo included. Or I think cusper.
Yeah, right on the edge, I think.
We'll allow it for today.
Okay.
But we're like, for people who are not in aesthetics, this feels like a lot. Because if I don't really know what I need, it's a little hard for me to kind of pick somewhere to start.
Okay.
I'm gonna need you to tell me a little bit more, because not everyone's like me. I get quite flustered. I have no clue. I couldn't even tell you what I needed in the beginning, but let's just say I knew I needed a facial.
Okay.
That's just a lot of options for me. And then there's more options for me. So that leaves me feeling like, not like frustrated, but just maybe like, if I book now and I go here, am I going to know what to do? I kind of need more direct. So
what would you change? Because I was worried if I condensed stuff more and had less options, that would make it harder for people to see like what I offer.
It's normal to think that, but Jonna, tell her about the menu idea we had.
Yeah, so just from a logistical standpoint, before we get into like the specifics, what I would do is at the top, instead of having like facials and skincare, waxing services as like their own separate pages or like menu options, I would do like a services and a drop down. So immediately your menu goes down from 2 lines to 1 line, and that condenses your header, just like from a logistical standpoint, right? So it takes up less space, it's easier to navigate, things like that. From a menu standpoint, I will say, so the people, like, so let's say the 2 girls that you really connected with that did a good, came in, they got waxing services, correct? Okay, which I feel like when you have waxing services, you pretty much know what you want. But for me, facial services, a lot of times I don't know what I want, right? I want to have a consultation and you tell me like, okay, I think that we should do this, and we should, this is going to be really good for your skin, because as you know, everybody's skin is really different. And it can
Right.
be like, if a client's just going on here and trying to pick a service that is the best for them, it can be difficult sometimes, you know what I mean? Because they're
Yeah.
like, I could pick something that would be terrible for my rosacea and could cause it to like flare up, and you'd have to be like, we actually can't do that
Yeah.
service, but we could do, this service. So I think even if I think it's okay to have the services listed out that you offer. And Lori, I do think that some people know what they want and they can see that she offers those things. But what I think is, going back to the homepage, using that space to kind of like guide how you want the client to interact with you, right? So like switching a little bit of like the language on the top, which I love some of the language here, but like flipping it and making it about them first, being like, this is the place where you're going to relax, or take, like use your language and say all the marketing stuff, but flip it, client first.
So it's like
Crush
what
theory second, client,
Okay.
crush theory. Yeah. So like you're appealing to them, and then you're telling them how you can solve that solution, or how you can make that happen for them. And
Okay.
then Lori and I are huge fans of like a 1, 2, 3, right? It's like, let's figure out, like, maybe it's a quiz, maybe it's a consultation with you, maybe it's something interactive that they can do, maybe it's like a downloadable PDF that like is like, are you dealing with these things? Then maybe this would be perfect for you. Like, do you have dry skin? Are you dealing with this? Like, this is what service I'd recommend. And
Okay.
like start with that education piece, just a teensy bit, just enough to get them hooked. That's like, yeah. So then
Do you
they
guys know of like, because I've thought about doing this before, of
Mhm.
something that like a little quiz that walks you through, like, if you have this, and then it populates and says like, here's a service that based on these answers might work for you. I don't know how to do that. Do you have any recommendations on something I can look into for that?
Yeah, we could send you over a couple. There's like
That
a
would
few
be
different
awesome.
programs that do it. And it can be like interactive and smart, and like, if you choose this, then this kind of thing. So we can
And I
send
can
you
just
over some.
embed that
You
on
can.
the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, Jonna, that Google Forms has changed where you can change it to like a quiz or a survey
Mhm.
based on answers. So it's considered form logic. And for people who are not techie, that might be the easiest one.
Okay.
We have some other things that we can send you.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then kind of on that note, just to ask your guys' opinion,
Mhm.
I've noticed the more back and forth I actually do with scheduling stuff, I don't care what people book as far as the facial, because I'm going to customize it all based on your skin's needs anyway.
Uh-huh.
I kind
So
of feel like that's slightly more
should I
sensitive.
just get rid of all of it and put custom facials, and then maybe in the information put like, if you're struggling with dry skin or
Yeah.
breakout,
Have them-
or
That's what I would make,
this
like
is
the
the
actual thing they book. It's like a custom facial, and maybe even have a part where they like set their budget, and you can have like a starting at, you know what I mean? So obviously it'll be within your range, but then like, then you could list out the different things that you do, or be like, and make it really focused. Be like, I truly look at your skin. I listen to you. And that's why I don't let you pre-book your services, because I am the expert and I'm going to tell you what's going to work on your skin, because I don't want to do any damage or something that isn't right for your skin, because it's really a service to them. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And I want it to feel like luxury. And that's kind of the thing that I've been dealing with in this industry, is it is so oversaturated. And this is a hypothetical person. I'm not talking about any actual person running their business, but there's a lot where I see not actually an educated standpoint. It's just, I'm going to slather stuff on your face and wash your face and send you on your way. And like, that's not the service that I'm here to do. And I want people to know, like, my facials are different. I do care about the science. I do care about what this is going to do for you and your goals. And I don't know how to communicate that in a snappy little Facebook comment, like, I don't know how to convey that and sound like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, like, hey girl, I would love to talk with you. My like number one thing is to make sure that we create a plan that is designed for your skin. So, here, send me a message or text me and let's chat more. You know what I mean? Like, literally just being like that, like we said, like that aunt or like that older sister, or like we in our coaching voice, we give that a lot to AI. We're like, we are the older sister that is like kind of guiding, but like it's going to say the hard truths when you need to say the hard truths.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the voice that we take. And so like understanding your voice, and then it's okay to like be direct with people. Honestly, I feel like people appreciate it, because sometimes if you're not direct, you're wasting their time. You're not saying what actually needs to be said to get them to the next step. And not like, girl, your skin is nasty, but like, you know, like, let's take care of you. Like, I would love to come up with a plan that could help, you know, like, I know I have rosacea, you know, like, it's not something that I'm not aware of. And I would love to be able to have a solution for that. So telling people that, being honest, being straightforward, just saying what needs to be said.
And if you're always starting with the end in mind, if you're always focused on who and what you're delivering, you don't have to keep saying, I don't know, because actually you're very clear. It right there starts to clarify in your mind, oh, wait a minute. This is a burnt out, tired mom who doesn't have time to BS back and forth, figuring all this stuff out. I'm going to tailor this to you. Fill in a few things, take a minute, and then literally come and be like pampered.
And the same thing like with products. Like, I don't want you to go out and spend $800 to stock products in your suite, but like get an affiliate for a company that you like and be like, hey, this is a really low maintenance routine. It'll take you 5 minutes, you know, in the morning and the night. These are the products I recommend. Send them an affiliate code until you're ready to carry products that you like. You know, there's still a way that you can also make money on the back end of each sale too, with affiliate money coming in. And
I actually have that set up.
Good.
It's a professional grade. So I always feel like I don't want people to think I'm just trying to make the money retailing. So I have a hard time suggesting it, even though I do really believe in the company. And like, that's what I use in my suite. I love it.
Well, and to honor that moral for you, what you could do is you could have like maybe some little pre-made printouts, because I know you made like the trifold brochures and thing like that, but it could have your professional grade, and then maybe a couple like options that are something you stand by that aren't professional, that maybe is just your Amazon affiliate link, right? With that way, you're still honoring the different price points and standing behind the science and the products you recommend.
Okay, that's a good idea. I need to look into the Amazon affiliate thing.
Anybody can do it. It's super easy. You don't have to have any qualifications. Yeah.
Cool.
It's free.
Awesome. I'll definitely set that up, because I think that's a good way to kind of bridge the gap and just have both out there.
And then you won't feel guilty about it, and you'll be like, you're doing them a service, whether it's a $15 toner product or an $85 cream. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And there's going to be that person who that's important to them, and they are going to purchase the $85 cream. And there's going to be someone who can't afford that, but they care about their skin, and they're going to get that $15 product and start there.
Yep.
Right. And you want to feel weird about it, because you know, according to the FTC, you do have to disclose that they're affiliates, but you stand by it because you personally have either tried it or tested it, and you know it's proven to work.
Yeah, I actually use, those are the two brands that I use at home, is either the one I use in suite or the one that I recommend off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another thing. We sometimes will throw in some of the things you need to be posting about. So I've made some notes here, and we talked, John and I already made these notes too, but you need to be posting reels. You need to be posting short form videos. And one of the things you need to do is more of these personal things that you're talking about right now. Do your own skincare routine and or show the products in your home, right?
Okay.
And then also the story times about the stuff that you struggle with, or the honest moments that you feel like you can share. Because you want to be that, like, let's just say fairy godmother for now, because I don't know what you're going to call it. She's like straight up. She doesn't really hide things, but she's not perfect. She's not coming in with the magic wand because she's perfect. She's coming in from a magic wand based on wisdom, experience, science.
It's from a caring. It's like it's not a I'm better than you, you need to do this. It's a, girl, I have been there, let me help you. You know what I mean? Like that's the perspective. It's a different point of view. So it's saying something out of caring, you know, it's doing something out of being in that place of caring, which I think it's the best reason to do something, right? Like that's what matters.
That's what you said you're here for. And you also mentioned about postpartum depression, and it's a hard thing to talk about. And whatever you feel safe to explore in those videos about that, I think you're going to be changing some lives. Even if they're not coming to you for a facial, I think that's not the whole entire point for you.
Yeah,
you know, I agree. If there is a mom feeling that way, they can feel known because of you, and maybe come to you, maybe not, but you're out here making the difference. And I really think that you will feel so fulfilled. You won't be wondering or saying things like, I'm not really sure what to say, because now it's actually so clear what to start sharing and presenting when you can come from these places of like, this is who I serve. this is what I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them my magic wisdom of whatever, however you want to brand call that.
Yeah. And then even too, like, I know that you have, I was telling Lori about your paperwork and how you have like the photo and model release for marketing as part of that paperwork, which is fantastic. Keep doing that. Absolutely. But like taking that a step further, like with Hera, I would have totally let you do like where you sat down and did like a little consultation video, right? Where you're like, okay, like, let's talk about this. And then you do like a little, you know, montage of the facial you do. And at the end, like, how do you feel? You know what I mean? And like,
okay.
I'm like,
I just feel so awkward doing content still. It feels like such a like silly thing to me. Like trying to set the tripod up to record myself, like bringing stuff in from my car. I'm like, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
But you know what? Everybody does it. Like we are in this world at this point where everyone does it. Like every successful business owner does it. And
that's what I tell myself.
Yeah, it's like we are all doing dumb stuff. We're putting our phone up on this weird shelf and recording ourselves. but like I know you're doing model calls and giveaways and things like that because amplify that. You know what I mean? Like be like, hey, like we're gonna record this. Are you cool if we do a consultation recording? And like, and a lot of people say yes. I would say yes. You know what I mean? Like use that to create some marketing fodder because I always watch those like barbering or those haircut videos where they do.
I love those.
They're like 2 to 3, 4 minute long.
Yeah.
I love them. My daughter loves them. Like,
and like they're the perfect length to kind of like I can set my phone down and turn it up and do something versus have to just sit and stare at my screen, which is nice too.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like playing into those things that we know that work, but make them for your business. You know what I mean? Like the education piece, the pain points of like, oh gosh, I'm going through puberty. My skin's doing stuff. What's happening? You know, or like moms who just need a little self-care, waxing like plus size, you know, targeting like specific issues that people have. Like I've had Brazilians and people are like, that's gotta hurt. Like it really doesn't hurt that much. It's honestly not that bad. And like educating and making people less scared, but talking about like the messy stuff around it. Like it's okay if you truth vomit while you're on my chair getting waxed. Everybody does, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned like do it for the content. I would say no. I would say remember who you're doing it for.
Yeah, not for the content, but like if you're getting people to come in, get the content.
The mom who's like over it, burnt out, sitting, you know, in the closet for 5 minutes of alone time. I've heard many moms tell me about those closet moments. Like, you know, do it for her or whoever else. Do it for the Heras of the world of Oklahoma.
I like to watch those ladies do the like everything shower and they teach you how to do an everything shower. So even like general self-care tips and things like that will connect with your audience too. Or like how to give yourself 5 minutes of self-care every day. And like maybe it's a little facial, you know, things like that.
Okay. I like that.
And then, you know, we've kind of identified what makes sense for you. You know, a couple action items on your site, some language points, but then how do you deliver those services? So right now you do them in your studio, right? Which won't change all that much, but we had a thought about how you could deliver the service.
Okay.
Right. So we've also built Gloss Genius sites before. So we have a link for you about this. But within Gloss Genius, you can set things up as I'm trying to think of how they call it. They call it a membership, but it's not exactly a membership. It's like credits. So it can work like a membership wherein you get, say, let's just say 50 credits a month. And then what you can do is assign value. You can say you get any 2, I'm just giving a random example, any 2 services from this list every single month.
And call it, you know, like a love yourself package. And like, and now you have a subscriber, right? So every month they're paying you, you know, $195. It's going to come out of their account, right? And that holds accountability for them to like make sure they're coming back to you and prioritizing themselves on a monthly basis. So something to think about kind of like building a subscription around. And it can even be like, you also get, you know, your cute little gift from me at each of your visit that's got like a little chocolate and, you know, a little self-care lip gloss or whatever is in it. You know what I mean? But creating a product that forces people to come back every month and prioritize themselves every month.
Okay.
Yeah, month or quarter or whatever. We have the help article that you can look into. Also thinking about the mom and child, right? So is it something that she gets and her daughter gets?
Yeah, I definitely want to lean more into that because I only had a couple people book, but I had a lot of interest. So I definitely want to lean into it for Mother's Day specifically, and then see.
And I think the more the more you talk about it and the more that people know that you'll naturally attract it. I always say, like, when you land on the right thing, you'll notice like the natural attraction follows and you'll just like start getting those clients and it's like, oh, I did it. Like,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So that's where we're thinking, like, when you think about your header and the things you offer, you can have your one-off services, you can have your list so people understand. You can teach them on your homepage that the very first thing that they should expect is to be educated. They can book, and that's where you might just want to be able to qualify the value of whatever the service is all the same. It's all the same amount. It's all either 50 credits or $80 or whatever you put it to, because that makes it so much easier than you don't have to, like, figure out what every nickel and dime is going to amount to. And then they also can have this membership option. So maybe it is a mother-daughter membership option. Maybe that's what you want to lean into. And Mother's Day, the marketing that you lead up to can be the launch of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Giving people options like one-offs or membership. And then you always, I don't know what you do in person, but upselling is important. They're already a yes. It's important to get them in your calendar and pre-booked for the next thing. If you're not already doing that, I invite you to do that. And anyone else who's listening who does something like this, yes is like think of it like a ...
Yeah. Like a lot of times if I'll go to something that I paid for, they'll be like, okay, let's get your next appointment on the books. Like before I walk away, or like, hairstylists do that, right? You get the next appointment on the books. So that way you're already creating like that checkpoint, like, hey, let's, do this. And then if they're not booking, then like having Gloss Genius automation set up where it's like, hey, it's been 2 weeks since your last appointment. Do you want to get back on the books, kind of thing, and making sure.
Waxing clients, I do that a little more naturally. I have these little like appointment cards and I fill it out with their name and have it in their bag. But I have a hard time doing it conversationally because I feel like this is like, I don't know, science-wise, I understand why it's not a splurge and it is worth doing it recurringly, but I also have a hard time. I don't know, like, I don't want to sound too salesperson-y and be like pushy and make people feel like,
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if it's necessarily pushy. Like it's there's a difference between like a car salesman who's like, oh, you want to go, get in this car and let's drive it, as opposed to like, hey, do you want to get in for your next appointment? So that way, you're keeping up with stuff, because it's a favor to them. They are coming to you because they are willing to spend the money on self-care services, right? Like that's why they are there. If they weren't okay spending money on self-care services, they would not be on your table. And so not being like, you need to schedule your next appointment before you go, or like, hey, do you want to make sure you get this scheduled so that way we're staying on top of your growth, or whatever it is, right? Because if I was like, my wedding's coming up, and if I was getting Brazilians and if I missed my freaking appointment, and it would mess up my whole cycle, and then I'd have hair growing at different lengths, and like, and the summer's coming up and things like that. So being like, it's really a favor to them. So you just need to change your mindset where it's like, you're doing them a service.
I do. I need to get into that.
I think the thing that maybe you don't feel this way, but a lot of people do, is they're looking for like the thing that's going to change them. The good news, bad news is there's nothing out here that's going to do that. You just have to decide that you're going to be of service. And like the way I relate to people is like, personally, this is actually what I think of in my head. You are a monster for greatness. You are a leader, badass. Like personally, I have this conversation about everyone I interact with. So I talk to you like a leader, period. You can hear it, you can be with it, and you can be coached, and you're going to be freaking awesome. That's how I relate. So when I tell you, hey, let's go, let's get in this coaching program, it's going to make the difference that you're looking for, no one's like weird about it. They're like, oh, yeah, that is why I got on this call with you.
Yeah.
And also, these people are a yes to you. You're not in the mall chasing people down who don't know you.
Yeah, yeah.
They're in your chair and they're like, help, I'm struggling with X. It doesn't have to be next month if that doesn't make sense for them. You can even say, like, you don't need to come in a month, but within, the next 3 months, if you don't make that appointment now, what are the odds you're going to take care of yourself?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. And
don't
it's really like, if it's a certain product and it's like, I recommend these every 8 weeks, you can say that, like, be like, hey, with this, we typically recommend if you want to keep up these results coming back in the next 8 weeks, do you want to go ahead and make an appointment, and
Okay.
saying it that way and being honest about the services, not like, oh, you should get a facial every
Yeah.
week.
Like every
Look
2
how
weeks.
you're
Yeah.
glowing. But, just being realistic. And I think like being honest, people want you to tell them what to do. They do not. We have decision fatigue. We all do, right? How many decisions do we have to make in a day? It's
Way too many.
crazy. And so like, if I'm choosing to be somewhere, I want them to guide my experience. I want them to tell me, like you said, go change in the bathroom, come in. Like, I don't want to have questions. I just want to know what I should do next and like go.
Okay.
Same thing with I'll just throw this in because we tell all our estheticians that we ever worked with this because you're in a building, making sure you have photos and videos of how to enter your space and which door do I open. I know this isn't totally related, but if you're thinking about the experience you're promising, you don't want to like have that awkwardness of like which door how
Yeah.
Grab a picture of the building when there's no cars parked in it, like be like, oh, and then circle the door like on the right hand side because that's where the tablet is to check in, right?
I was
And be
thinking
like,
of
go ahead
filming a TikTok and like not show myself until the end and like put my tripod up and just show me waving, but like the rest be like POV of like opening the door, checking in on the iPad, sitting down and like walking down the hallway.
Yeah,
that's fine. It really does help. When you're thinking about where to put those things, you want one of them on the contact page for your site. You want them in your Google listing. If you're not managing that, you should. It's free.
Yes.
That's where we're going to find you in like maps and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's where Jana's going to freak out if she cannot find the door. That's how we are. It's seriously.
Okay.
I will say I went to the right door first and I thought it was locked. It was just really hard to pull. So then I went back to the left door and I went in and then I saw like somebody else across the other side and then I cut across and I was like, oh, I'm so cool.
I figured it out.
Yeah. Just everything you can do.
Okay.
Because you care about people. In service of caring, help us get in the right place, show up with the right stuff. So, when you're thinking about like action steps for you, fixing that homepage, we'd love to see like home services, maybe membership, about and contact, and kind of ixnay. No more specials. Also, permission slip. No more specials.
No.
You don't have to call them specials. It could be like if you're gonna do, like a Mother's Day, like don't call it a special because people immediately are like, oh, it's a discount, it's cheap, it's a, you know what I mean? Like phrasing it in a different way. Be like,
Spotlight.
Like spotlight or gift yourself for Mother's Day, or you know what I mean? Like not getting people in the coupon mindset because the beauty industry has been plagued by that since Groupon. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's a whole thing, and it's also those aren't the clients that are gonna keep coming back and paying for services, so we don't want to waste your time and attract people who aren't going to value, you know what I mean?
Like if you're going to put it in your menu for temporary, call it like Mother's Day. Even just calling it the keyword will help. Mother's Day. I'm going to click on that thing for the Mother's Day deal.
Now, be like, ooh, Mother's Day stuff.
Discount. Instead, have it have extra cool stuff. Think about what you can add. Don't give a discount.
That's what I've been trying really hard to like stay in that mindset. And that's why I was doing model calls. Like,
that's good.
That does come with a discount, but otherwise I try to do like perceived value versus discount.
Good. I think that helps a lot. And even like, for Mother's Day, you could do like little mimosas that don't have real champagne, but like, you know what I mean? Like that's like such a cute little special
mimosas.
Exactly.
And also you could partner with other local businesses like a charcuterie cart who can serve the same people as you.
Oh, hey, no.
So that's a way to add, not subtract from the dollars, but add to the vibe and the value.
Yeah.
So that
actually, sorry.
No, you're fine.
We are hosting an event, and I bet you would be perfect for that. So I'll text you the information, and I'll give you the owner's number and see if you guys want to coordinate maybe, because I just thought of that as you said that.
Yeah, I saw that event coming up. And like capitalizing on all those things. And one of the other hows that Lori and I talked about earlier with like how you're going to do like the teen and preteen, right? Like maybe you offer parties where you come to the house and you can do like a facial party for.
I'm not allowed to.
I was wondering. We were wondering.
I wish I could, because I think that would be such a good space to get into. But I'm not allowed to be mobile. It has to be, and even here,
establishment. Yeah.
And I struggle with that because it's such a small room. I'm like, do I just have everybody else wait in the lobby? Like that just feels like it'd be clunky, kind of. I don't really know. I'm not open to it. I just don't
No,
know how
I get what you're
to
saying.
do
Yeah.
it.
We were trying to decide like law-wise, legally, what you could do, what you couldn't
Yeah.
do. Yeah. So, well, darn. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
No, but still making, you have been doing outreach and just being intentional and streamlining where you go and surrounding yourself by the people who are going to mostly be the moms with the daughters, the younger moms with the daughters.
Mhm.
Being in those places strategically and not being in places that suck your time and money and energy and really don't serve you, or maybe are a little scammy, or unfortunately that's been happening more now.
I actually just got scammed like 2 weeks ago.
It's been pretty bad. There's some groups I'll send to you. There's some local ones. It's called like vendor events to avoid here in the area.
Okay.
I'll send you that one. So you
Oof,
can
I've got
join
a
it.
post ready for that. I posted
Yeah.
it on TikTok, but then I made it so only I can see it, because then I was convincing myself while I was going to sleep. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna reply and they're gonna slam my business and I'm gonna lose everything that I've barely started building.
No. There's some like and we have some. And there's like Bump Fest coming up, and that's in June. I think it's in June.
Yep.
But like it's all geared towards moms, like like the whole event. It's like a wedding, like one of the wedding shows, but for pregnant moms. I did it last year, which is the first year. This year's the second year, but you could see if there's any more vendor spots there. But it's being intentional about the events you go to. Like the public farmers market has a roller skating party, which is going to be filled with young millennials, you know what I mean? And fun things like that. So just because I know you are willing to get out there and do the work, I see you commenting on people's stuff all the time. Like, hey, let's collaborate. Let's do something cool together. So like, I know you're willing to put in the work. It's just like clicking into place what is the right thing. Yeah. And I think we're getting closer on like that direction. And I think it's wonderful. And then real quick, Laura, I just want to touch on the website, like adding photos too, like of that target audience, like of like moms and preteens hanging out or getting facials or things like that. I mean, even if you do a photo shoot, you know what I mean? I know you're up for trading because I see you post all the time, like trade with a photographer and get a photo shoot of like some people that you have like model calls, like let's get some mom daughter ones. Let's get this stuff. So that way you can so people can see themselves as soon as they land on your website and land on your social media page.
That's a good idea.
And get that gorgeous new headshot up on your website.
Yes, I need to. And literally, as soon as we started this call, I remember you asking me about it last time we talked. I was like, oh, I forgot to change it.
Yes, and also your Facebook link. Fix your link on your site.
Yes. Okay. I'll do that.
And add a custom URL to your Facebook.
That's what happened. I think you might have thought you had a custom URL in your Facebook.
Oh, it's just Facebook in general. Okay.
Yeah, it's like slash and then a bunch of numbers. So you can customize that handle too, which will help with searchability and Google results too.
Okay. Perfect.
I love it. Okay. So, Lori, do you have any other things about the how?
No, I think we've covered all of the notes that we laid out for her. I feel good about it.
Yay. Okay. Well, Mo, we want to say thank you so much for coming on here, being honest, being able to take this journey with us to kind of like redefine your who. And we're so excited to see what's going to come down the future.
Me too. I can't wait.
So if you can tell us, what's your biggest takeaway from today?
Oh man, I feel like my brain is just spinning on how I can like content that I could create and post just to like connect with that we just talked about. Cause like you said, I feel like I'm just kind of posting reactively, like responding to posts and not really knowing what to do on my own. But this helps kind of give me some direction on what content to create and post. So I think that'll help a lot. So now my brain is like,
we're familiar with that feeling. It happens a lot in calls like this. So I'm glad you are left in action and ready to go.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say too, for anyone who's listening to this, if you are in those early days and you're wearing all the hats and wondering like, is anyone seeing me, seeing my posts, we can also help you find that traction. So if you would like to head over to becomethrive.com, that's becomethrive.com, to apply for your own reality check. And we actually have the link below in the show notes for you as well. Stop pretending everything is amazing and let's get to work. Thank you again so much, Mo, and we will see everybody in the next episode.
Success is a lie if you're failing inside. You can't grow a business you hate.